All right. Thank you all for showing up. This is the open house for the Pierce County Master Gardener Program volunteer training for 2024. So I have it recorded so folks who need to leave early or come late or can't attend at all can watch the recording. And we will also have another one of these in person in October, and that information is on the website. So if you're watching this recording and have questions, you're welcome to attend there. Or ask follow-up questions via email. All right, my name is Jayla Smith. I use she, her, and they, them pronouns, and I am the coordinator for the Master Gardener program. I am transitioning out at the end of the month. So questions and facilitation is going to be directed towards Jim, who is the director of our extension. And then eventually a new coordinator will be able to jump in and host this as well. So I'll be making this presentation. I've been with the program for about a year and a half. So I started in February of 2022, so I was able to do the training in 2022 and also got to do it for 2023 as well. It is so fun. We enjoy all the learning and all the community that comes with this training. So I'm glad y'all are here and y'all are interested. Also just want to point out that I did make the application live, so it is on the website, and the application packet is also there, which essentially goes deeper in depth about what I'm about to share today. And then we'll do a Q&A at the end if y'all have questions. And we do have a current Master Gardener here who also mentors interns at Sandy. Hi, Sandy, welcome. So we've got folks here that you could ask questions who participate in the program and have gone through a version of this. All right. So the Master Gardener program trains volunteers to empower people, communities to find research-based innovative solutions that address current challenges. So currently we have over 300 active volunteers who all together annually donate over 20,000 hours a year. We host over 100 plant clinics a year, and we connect with over 15,000 residents and people who live in Pierce County. That is a picture of our team. If you've gone to the plant sale, this is what our tomato area looks like indoors. Some of these are current interns, and some of these are veterans who've been working with the Master Gardener program for a while. So I like to go over, let's see here, our values and the whole purpose of the program. So you know what you're getting into. Becoming a volunteer means you are serving these values and the purpose. So I just want to make sure that folks who are applying understand what they're applying for. So the Master Gardener program values lifelong learning. Our value statements are really long sentences. So I boiled it down here. It's lifelong learning, diversity and inclusion, integrity, stewardship and sustainability, and collaboration. And we know that knowledge inspires change, and that we adapt when we are working with plants and when we're working with people. So our purpose, we're a human service. We serve the community. WSU Extension in Pierce County is connected to Pierce County Human Services. So I'm right now in the Human Services building in Tacoma off of 38th. And WSU Extension's mission is to engage people, organizations, and communities to advance knowledge, economic well-being, and quality of life by fostering inquiry, learning, and the application of research. So you can kind of see where the Master Gardener mission kind of integrates into the WSU Extension mission as well. So the Master Gardener volunteer job, once you become certified for a whole year, you apply, you get accepted, and you finish your internship and become certified. Your job is, well, to have this role, you've participated fully in the training program, which does require computer access and internet and email skills. Then you'll be logging your hours on GivePulse, which we will go over. It's just our volunteer database that helps track our hours. You agree to follow our policies and procedures. You abide by our pest management recommendation agreement, which we'll go over and is included in the packet. And you're giving clients a range of possible options, including cultural, mechanical, biological, and chemical control. So we're not constantly, it depends on the issue. how we recommend managing pests. You're agreeing to be communicate effectively and to connect with the public either by telephone or email or in person, groups, or through written language. You have a continued knowledge of an experience in basic gardening or other program priorities, which is, we'll go over all of our different other program priorities. It's not just gardening, but that you have an interest and an excitement of learning basic gardening and horticulture skills, and you're willing to work with adults and young people. Pretty basic. Volunteer description. So our community has a code of conduct as well. Once you become an intern, you're agreeing to follow our code of conduct, which is representing WSU Extension with dignity and pride, respecting the folks that you are connecting with. We conduct ourselves professionally and courteously and respectfully. And we are role models for each other and for young people and for our clients. We respect and follow the WSU county and program policies, comply with equal opportunities, and we're not using alcohol or marijuana or tobacco while we're a master gardener, and we participate as team members. So those are our community agreements kind of boiled down about how we function when we're wearing the master gardener badge. Welcome folks who are jumping on. I am just getting started, and like I said earlier, this is recorded, so you didn't miss much, but it'll be recorded for you if you want to go back and see what you missed. All right, I'm going to keep it pushing here. So the Master Gardener program has 9 program priorities that help us guide which things we are engaged in, which things are outside of our scope. And we know that everyone has a right to food security, clean water, healthy green spaces, and the protection from the effects of wildfires and climate change. So you can see here that our mission is supporting healthy people and a healthy planet in the middle there with our flower. And then as you can see, all of our program priorities integrate together. It's hard to kind of pull one away from the other, recognizing that they all feed each other. So our program priorities are climate change, clean water, water conservation, soil health, pollinators, local food, plant biodiversity, nearby nature, and wildfire preparedness. So a lot of that is making sure that we are taking care of our earth so we can grow our food and cut back on greenhouse gases and contributing to climate change. We want to protect our water and be thoughtful about which things we use when we're battling pests, and that we are conserving our precious resources like water, being thoughtful about plant biodiversity and native plants. And nearby nature is the promotion of keeping green spaces available for all people, recognizing that being around plants either indoors or outdoors contributes to our mental health and our physical health, and how to steward all of these things all together. So as you go through the internship and become a master gardener, you'll see these pop up in ways that we collect data. You'll see it in the way that the training is organized, and how we document the things that we're up to. So these are kind of like our guiding posts here. And you'll see these on the website as well. They have lots of language that go with them. All right, so these are kind of our home bases. This map obviously is not all of Pierce County. We go all the way out to the mountain and a little bit farther south, and a little bit farther east. But I am right now in the Pierce County Human Services building over here on Pacific Avenue, so right there in the middle. We have a demonstration garden, which is our learning classroom out in Puyallup. If you've been to our plant sale, it's right across the street from the WSU campus there. And then we have another demonstration garden out in Gig Harbor, out at the Semmel Homestead Park, with native trails and lots of vegetable and composting demonstration as well. So these are the main places where we kind of function. There are a lot of community gardens all throughout our county. There are a lot of clinics where we provide plant questions and answers all throughout our county. But oftentimes throughout our training, we kind of hinge around these locations. So folks who are really, really south or really, really east, I like to be transparent around how we function more north and centrally. Those are our spaces. So this is a really general boiled down overview of our entire program. Pierce County or Master Gardener program is statewide. So each county, almost every county in our state has an extension program and has a Master Gardener program. WC Extension also has 4-H and SNAP Ed and other programs like that. So we're a part of that network of human services. So you can go out to Spokane, you can go out to Kitsap, you can find the Master Gardener program throughout our state, and every county manages and functions differently. They provide different services through to each county, and it really does depend on the interests of our community and the interests and the skills of our volunteers. So when you go to different counties, you can kind of see how each county provides a unique different service. So for us, our education programs, when we connect with people out in our community, we're utilizing our demonstration gardens. So like I said, in Puyallup and Gig Harbor, those are our open classrooms where people can come and learn different ways of gardening or conserving water or container gardening. They both have children's programming, so there's family engagement there as well. We offer clinics throughout our county. We have an office here in the building that I'm in, where you can work and answer emails and phone calls and sometimes have drop-in, answer plant clinics. And then we also go out into the community, most commonly in retail shops like our hardware stores and out in farmers markets and other special events. So we have those clinics out there. We also provide a speakers bureau. Folks can request Master Gardeners to come talk in their community. So at their church or their book club or their garden clubs, we can come out and talk about things that y'all are interested in. And then we have community gardens and partnerships. We do a lot of support in rain gardens and stormwater management. We also work really closely with the Tacoma Community College out at the Washington's Correction Center out in Purdy. They have a horticulture program out there, so we work with them. And then we work closely with our community gardens and our school gardens, and those are stewarded by Master Gardeners. So if you are in a community garden, you can kind of be a liaison between our program and the community garden, and the same with the school garden. If you are participating in a school garden, you can there's an opportunity to be a good liaison between the two programs. So those are a really boiled down way that we provide our education. Once you become certified, the world is your oyster. If you want to add something to this program or lead something or initiate something, our community, as long as we have capacity and it follows our mission and our program priorities, are open to hundreds of different dynamic ways of providing our services. And then so internally, this is kind of how our program functions internally, just for volunteers. So obviously there's the volunteer training, which you are here for the open house. So that goes for a year where we onboard and train volunteers. Then they become certified at the end of the year and then go out into the community and provide support and provide the mission. We provide continuing education, which is one of our requirements. Once you are certified, you are continuing to learn, you're broadening your scope, you're broadening your skills. So we have a team that cultivates education for our volunteers. And then we have an admin team. Our data team helps us make sure we're logging all of our hours, and making sure we're collecting data of the resources that we're providing for the community. We have a DEI team that works towards providing continuing education that's diverse and provides a welcoming environment for volunteers and our client. We also have a strategic planning team that stewards our goals and how we want to grow and which way we want to move forward in the future. And then marketing and media, doing a lot of social media, doing a lot of newsletters, things like that. And then we have our wonderful Master Gardener Foundation in Pierce County that does a lot of our financial stewardship. So they are the ones that host the plant sale. They are the ones that steward the reimbursements for volunteers. So if you are in a demonstration garden and you're buying plants for the children's garden, and it's approved by that team, the foundation will reimburse you. They also sell logo wear and books and things like that, and steward lots of events for us. So we love our foundation and our board. And once you become an intern and a certified Master Gardener, you can be on the board or you can be a part of the voting membership. It's all made up of Master Gardeners in good standing. So that's a general kind of look at what we're up to here in Pierce County. So I'll go through these really quickly here. So our demo gardens, this is the one in Puyallup. When you go into the parking lot, you'll see this beautiful growing wall and our big sign. And then this is our beautiful wall as well in Gig Harbor, out at the Semmel Homestead Park. So our gardens are free outdoor classrooms. They're open to the public, and they're built to teach gardening and conservation and sustainability techniques for all ages. And each of our gardens showcase something really unique, and it's inspired by the volunteers that invest their time. So you can see demonstrations on different ways to compost, veggie gardening, propagation, youth programming, shade gardens, we have all sorts of things. So definitely invite you to join in on those classrooms. But when you're volunteering and or interning, that's a wonderful place to invest your time. And like I said, we have our plant clinics here. So we provide free access to unbiased research, research-based horticulture advice for people to help kind of navigate the problems that they have in their garden, or if they want to try new plants or do different types of landscaping. We're here to kind of get down to the bottom of it. We don't claim to know every answer. We don't claim to be experts on anything, but we are the people that will help you find that compost or help you figure out what that bug is. We'll get down to the bottom of it with you and help you find those resources. And like I said, we're at farmers markets and hardware stores, nurseries, demonstration gardens, and different special events. You can request us to come. In our speakers bureau, like I said, you're welcome to request us, and if you become a master gardener, you can develop talks on things that you're excited about. Oftentimes they are PowerPoint, public speaking at libraries and things like that, but we also invite some creativity. You're welcome to do hands-on engagement, or you can host these at our demonstration gardens and facilitate those, or in your community gardens. So that's another part of that. And then, like I said, our community gardens and our partnerships. This is a picture of our Gallucci garden. A lot of master gardeners invest in the garden out there that's in central Tacoma, teaching garden for young people and adults. And then a lot of the food that they grow sustain the community members in that garden, in that area. All right, I went through our admin, so I'm going to keep moving here. Continuing ed, like I said, they are a team of volunteers that provide continuing education. As an intern, you don't necessarily you're not required to be continuing your ed because your whole thing is a big training. So we're not requiring interns to do CE. However, a lot of interns really enjoy it because there are interesting topics you're welcome to go check out. You could also be a part of that team in hosting those CE offerings, participating and supporting our annual all-day workshops, and things like that. All right, and like I said, our foundation of Pierce County, they produce our incredible, amazing plant sale. If you haven't gone, it's at the end of April every year, and provide incredible plants, all tomatoes grown by master gardeners and hopefully by you next year. And we also provide marketplace and books and logo wear, and they also support community gardens through the Community Garden Grant Program. And like I said, when you're a volunteer, you're welcome to be a voting member on the team. Yeah, that community garden in Tacoma is the Gallucci Garden, and later I can drop it, their website in the chat. They're incredible. They do amazing work. All right, so the reason why you're all here is our volunteer training. So the training starts in January and goes through May. And what I mean by that is that you are engaged on a learning platform online, and we're doing lectures on Zoom, a lot like what we're doing right now. So that goes from January all the way through May. And then you're welcome to volunteer and participate in person throughout January and May. But I like to be really transparent that it takes a lot of work. There's a lot of reading. There's a lot of assignments. There's a lot of quizzes. It's almost it's a half day every Friday morning. So if you are a working person or are engaged in your family or other kind of community involvement, it's hard to be doing the training and volunteering at the same time. So I like to try to break this down so it's transparent for folks. Also to be clear that our plant sale is in April, so we always like to invite interns to participate that. But then technically your intern hands-on in-person portion of the training goes through June and November. So you get an intern project. You are required to hit, you're required to invest a certain amount of numbers in different parts of our program. So that's when you're focusing on that. And then that ends in November and you're certified in December. And we'll get into those kind of requirements. But that's the general breakdown here. So then you'd be certified for 2025. All right, so September 18th, today, applications open. I put that on our website. It's available. There's a packet there that'll basically go through all of this. I really want to make sure we're really transparent on what it means to be a volunteer. It's not an educational training just to gain your own knowledge. It is a training to become a community educator and to become a human services volunteer. So there's a packet that goes along with that. The applications will close October 31st. Then the team will go through all those applications and accept or deny the applications. And then when you're accepted, you'll get a registration packet, which is the different fees, how to pay the different fees, all those different things. You'll get introduced to your mentor, and then you'll have to turn in that packet, pay all those different fees, make sure we get all of our paperwork done before the holiday season. And then in December, we send out the syllabus, the training details, the Zoom link, things like that. And you're welcome to kind of connect with other interns and connect with your mentor and get to know folks. And then we jump right into it in January. Let's see. Yes. Okay, great. All right. So then the training starts, the Friday morning Zoom calls at 9 to 1. They will be recorded just like today. We'll be recording it. And then it goes onto a YouTube channel where you can access all of those. So if you work on Friday mornings or you have a doctor's appointment or you go out on vacation later that night, you can watch the call and stay up to date and connected with those Zoom trainings. And then in May, there's in-person outdoor training. So we like to host it at our different demonstration gardens so you get an opportunity to get a tour and to see the spaces. And then we also do some hands-on training there, recognizing that our Zoom calls do lack that hands-on in-person engagement. And then May through November, like I said, is a self-paced intern projects where you complete 40 hours of volunteering in the various areas, which we'll get into. So this is a sample of what the syllabus looks like. I think this is the updated one. Yeah. So January 12th, you'll be getting a big orientation on the state program and the history of the program, the history of WCU Extension and Pierce County. And then you'll get a more basic overview training and how we log all of our hours the next day. And then as you can see, we have our program priorities here where we connect each chapter that you will be working on with a lecture. So I'll show you, I'll give you a little tour of what the online platform looks like. But there's a handful of chapters, and then we like to tie each chapter with a lecture. So for example, Dr. Giblin comes in and does a lecture on botany. So we'll kind of give you a deep dive into the things that you are reading about and what the quizzes were about for that chapter. And it is self-paced. You can technically just read through all the chapters in January, take all the quizzes and be done, and then just passively listen to all the lectures. It's totally up to your own learning style, how you do that. The way we recommend it is going chapter by chapter with lecture by lecture. They are all the chapters, the quizzes are due at the end of May. So we kind of have it branched out all the way through to May. But everyone's a different learner and everyone's a different kind of researcher. And we invite you to engage in it in any way that feels right for you. All right, let's see here. So I've done the math here. I like to be really transparent that it is about 90 hours, January through April-ish, May, that there's enough reading and there's enough quizzes and enough assignments that you'll be contributing that much amount of time. during our academic portion, which can feel like a lot for folks, especially if you're working or taking care of family, or volunteering in other ways. So I want to be transparent about how much time that takes. So what is required? Canvas is the name of our online platform. What is required for you at the end of May is that you pass all your quizzes with a cumulative 80%. So I can't remember the full number of how many quizzes are. I'll show you the whole chapter list. But you get an 80% passing grade for all of those together, and then there's a final exam, and that you get 80% or higher on that. And there are study sessions. You do have a mentor with a group of folks. So if your mentor is interested, or if you guys are interested, you can do study group sessions together. All the quizzes and the final exam are open book. So there's not an expectation that you're memorizing anything. The expectation is that you are able to find the answer. Just like I was saying in our clinics, you don't have to memorize how we treat a certain bug, but you are expected to figure out how to treat the bug, right? So go into those books, find your resources, figure out which chapter, and answer those questions. So open book. And then all of Canvas is required to be finished by the end of May. We do expect that you're attending and watching at least 40% of all those training calls. We do not take attendance. We do not track that. So that is in the honor system. If your mentor is having a really hard time getting hold of you, or if we're recognizing you're not doing your quizzes or your assignments, we're going to be checking in and seeing if you're still engaged. And if that's not working, then we'll have a conversation around if this is a successful program for you. And then we do expect that you attend both their Saturdays. The May classes are 9 to 3. They're in May. I have the dates on the website for you. But those are really, really valuable because they're one of the only times as a team we all get together in person. We get to see the garden, you get to ask questions and be a part of the community. So I really try to be transparent about when those are. So when you're planning vacations or things like that, you know which days those are. Looking at my notes, make sure I got everything here. All right. So after the training, like I said, starts technically in June. That's when you will have picked your intern project. Our veteran master gardeners design projects that get you integrated into our community, and they last 10 hours. So they're little tiny projects where you can meet other folks, invest in a project, contribute to the program. And the reason I say that starts in June is because that's when we pick them. So this isn't to say that you can't engage in plant clinics in April or February. It's not to say you can't go to the demonstration garden earlier than that. We definitely encourage you to, but recognizing that it takes a whole year for you to finish those hours. So it is expected that you complete 40 hours of your internship, which is a volunteer service. So you'll be logging those hours on Gift Pulse, which I'll go over in a minute. So if you break those 40 hours down, it's about 6 hours a month. Or if you want to bust out those 40 hours in 1 month, you're welcome to it. You're an adult, you can manage your time. But that's kind of how that time breaks out for you. So you are expected to participate 10 hours in our plant clinic. So that might be in our office, which is Monday through Friday during the day, 10 to 2-ish are our hours. So if you're working Monday through Friday, it might be hard for you to jump into the office. So we invite you to come to our community clinics. Oftentimes those are at farmer markets in the evening or on Saturdays. So 10 hours participating and kind of seeing how this works. We invite you to do 10 hours in our demonstration garden. So you're participating in our youth programming, you're participating in our speakers talks, different classes that are happening there, getting to know folks there, both in Puyallup or Gig Harbor. You're going to invest 10 hours in an intern project, like I said. And then this last one here is just kind of a catch-all bucket, 10 hours in anything that has to do with our programming. So that can be supporting the plant sale, that could be engaging in attending foundation meetings, that could be being a part of the DEI team or marketing, anything that has to do with our programming internally, that can go into your 10 hours. This part gets a little tricky. Typically, most interns or folks who are thinking about being an intern is saying, does working in my garden count? Does working in my community garden count, just going to my kids' classroom and teaching them about seeds count. And those are all examples of you being an amazing community member and interested in gardens, but specifically we're inviting you to be inside of our program. So that's already programs that are established. You're already seeing what we have that's available that we're providing. So you can kind of see what we have and what we don't have. And then once you become certified, we can kind of start talking about, can you get can you get volunteer hours working in your kids' classroom? Can you get volunteer hours working in your community garden? And generally, working personally in your own garden is not community education, so we don't count those. So always kind of thinking what it means to be a teacher and what it means to be providing services to the whole community. All right, let's make sure I have all those notes in. You're always wearing your badge when you're an intern and a volunteer, and you're taking your badge off once you're finished doing the job. As an intern, you won't be making any pesticide recommendations. So if you're at the plant clinic or a demonstration garden and someone's asking, you know, which pesticide should I use to this, herbicide, whatever it may be, you're always going to default to a certified master gardener for that. And you can kind of learn how they navigate that and why they suggest it. And we'll also train you on the resources that we use and the rubric we use for that. But that is a hard line that we make sure that interns are not ever recommending pesticides until they're certified. Okey-dokey. And then at the end of the year, you get your certification. We throw a little graduation party where you get your certification, you get an official badge. You can bring a +1 to celebrate you. You can give a talk on your intern project and share the things that you learned. If you created a Speakers Bureau presentation, this is a great time to present a synopsis of your Speakers Bureau presentation. It's just a fun time for all of us to celebrate all of the hard work that you did for your entire internship year. And then you are certified at the end of December, and then moving into January, you get an application that's online, and you say that you are willing to, you know, you re-agree to our pesticide agreement, you re-agree to the code of conduct and the job role, and then you become certified. And then that following year, you're only required to do 25 hours of volunteering as opposed to 40. And you're required to do 10 hours of CE. And that could be in any volunteering capacity. So it's not delineated like the internship was in a clinic or a demonstration garden. You could contribute all of your volunteer hours to the foundation or the plant sale, or you can contribute all of your 25 hours to one demonstration garden. You can just do 25, or you can go up to 400 hours a year. It's totally up to you. And then the CE hours are approved by the coordinator. The CE team will provide over 10 hours a year for you. But then you can also participate in other classes that our county provides. We know that solid waste does incredible classes. Harvest Pierce County organization does incredible classes. So there's a lot of other things that you can get for CE hours. If you go to conferences and things like that, you can always just check in with the coordinator and make sure that it counts. Okey-dokey. We're moving along here. Oh, perfect timing. Okay, great. So I wanted to show you a little tour of what Canvas looks like, and then we will do some quick, sorry, here we go. All right, there's the opening of Canvas. Thank you. So it has your Zoom calls here, overviews of the program, tips for success, how to navigate this whole platform. Then it's got your syllabus, course overviews, things like that. Our course schedule, hopefully it's on here so you can see a good example of it. No, it is not on here. But next year it'll have your big course overview, your schedule, and everything like that. Here's an example of the modules here. Scroll up to the top here. So it has a great getting started, like how to use this online training, and then it goes into each chapter. Botany and plant ideas, the first chapter. It's got presentations and videos there for you, crossword puzzles, different kinds of questions. None of these are required for you to do. Like I said, just the quizzes are required for you. So you could technically bypass all of these things and just take your quiz, but those are things that will kind of help you understand the content a little bit more. There's chapters that go with each one, and then I'll show you what the quiz kind of looks like. So you kind of walk through how to do it. I should be showing you the student view. Here we go. So there is no due date, like I said. The end of May is its due date. It has 8 questions, 8 points, and like I said, it's open book. So you can keep the chapters open while you go through each question. They look like this. You can kind of flag them or save them for later. Going through each question, answering them, and then down at the bottom, I believe each quiz is 8 questions. You can save the questions for later, or you could submit them. So you could work on them slowly, or you can do them and submit them as you go. Then they've got grades, different assignments, and things like that. And our chat, let's see if there's anything else on here that I want to show you. So here's all of our different quizzes. And then our final exam is 65 questions. And like I said, it's also open book. Okay, I'm going to stop jabbering and open it up for questions. I wanted to show you one more thing. Our packet has the list of all the chapters. Let's see here. Pull this up for you. Here we go. So this is linked on the website along with the application, so you can kind of get an idea of what the different chapters are that we'll be going through. Greenhouse, water-wise landscaping, composting, home orchards. So this also has the whole breakdown of the training schedule, the prices on here. You are required to get a background check. Here's the amount here for the training fee. You have the online portion, so you'll be paying for Canvas as well, which is $75. Then we have a background check there. We do offer scholarships. You just have to ask for one. We don't ask for any proof of why you need a scholarship. We're just happy to make it accessible for you. So that might be covering just a background check or covering the training fee. So the packet has all those Q&A and things like that for you. All right, questions. 10:45, perfect timing. And you can ask me questions. I see that Jim is logged on here now. And then, like I said, Sandy is a current Master Gardener and an incredible mentor. So if you have questions about what it's like to be a volunteer, you could also ask those questions. You're welcome to unmute, or you can jump into the chat. I'm going to drop the link of the website in here so it's just accessible for folks.
I do have one question. Yeah. Can you get into the intern project a little bit more?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I understand all the different components.
Yeah. So we invite any certified Master Gardener to develop an intern project. The expectation is it is just 10 hours. So sometimes, you know, we get really excited about a project and the hours kind of start stacking up. So we really do try to make sure that it is limited. And then it is centered in something within our program. So we're not creating something brand new. We're contributing to something that's already established. Should be associated with our strategic plan and kind of our goals on how we're moving forward, and obviously our mission and our program priorities. And then, so let's say Sandy creates a intern project, she submits it to the coordinator, it gets approved, and then at the end of May, there's a list essentially like of classes that you could pick. So let's say Sandy is making bird houses for one of our children's gardens. She's inviting, 6 interns to participate in that. She's got learning goals and the different projects that you'll be doing. You can read through all of it and pick which one you like. You sign up for that one. And then June through November, you're just investing in that program. So you're volunteering, you're getting your 40 hours. So in our clinics and our demonstration gardens, but then you're also working with Sandy and other interns on developing those things, building those things. And then at the end of those 10 hours, you write a little reflection piece and then you log those hours and you're completed. So it's like a little hands-on snippet of our program and investing in one unique part of the program. And you can continue to invest after those 10 hours. You can keep working and stewarding that project, or you can try other things. Yeah, Sandy, you have something else to add?
I did, and I forgot what I was going to say.
It happens. Yeah, so what are some examples, Sandy, that you can think of?
That's what I was going to think of. Like in the children's garden, they may have a project that they want to work on. And so they'll say, we need somebody who will, like one of my colleagues built a bench for a particular part of the children's garden. And that was his intern project. Or I have 4 interns this year, and 2 of them are working on a herb trellis for a harvest house garden that's run by one of the master gardeners. In the past, the Women's Correctional Center has had a couple people who live in the Gig Harbor area volunteer at the Women's Correctional Center with the gardening and then teaching some of the women's skills. Down at the demonstration garden in Puyallup, there's about, 17 or so raised beds. And sometimes people take a raised bed and do a project. One of my colleagues did something on green string beans, and she planted 10 different types of beans, 5 that were trellised and 5 that were bushed. And then every Tuesday she would harvest the beans and weigh them to determine what beans did best in our climate. And one thing that's very cool at the demonstration garden, we grow all kinds of fruits and vegetables. And then when we pick them, we donate them to different food banks in Pierce County. And they are thrilled when we walk in the door with an armload of tomatoes and lettuce and strawberries and blueberries. So if you have like a particular interest, somebody did watermelons one time. Watermelons don't grow this well over here. So she tried a couple different types of watermelons to see what might do well here in those raised beds.
Yeah.
The compost people are always looking for people. One person did an evaluation of different composters, and I think she measured 3 or 4 different composters and found out what ended up working best. So if people wanted to do home composting, we could make a recommendation.
Yeah.
So with my interns, I told them over and over and over, this is the year to try everything. Try a little of this, a little of this, a little of this, and find out what interests you. And if you find something that interests you, then maybe you can ask a master gardener, a veteran, to sponsor a project that you can use as your intern project.
Yeah, we try to keep it diverse. So there's some people who have the accessibility to go in on Tuesday mornings and work in the demonstration garden and maintain something in person, recognizing that also this training is available for people who work, that there's accessibility, there's projects that you can do from home at your own time frame. So we did have some website development projects. We had photography. We've had, our clinic is taking on tablets and making a lot of our resources electronic. So some of the projects were take these tablets home and upload everything and kind of make it accessible and usable. updating manuals, right? Like anything you could kind of imagine that can give you a greater understanding and more hands-on in-depth look of how this one tiny portion works, right? So it might be composting, it might be the foundation website, it might be it could be really anything that is aligned with our mission and that supports our programming. It really is just up to the veterans and what they develop. So we had, Mason Bee project. I'm trying to think of all of them. We had installing QR codes. So when you walk through the native plant walk, you can scan and kind of look at what the different plants are. So like really, it was like a really, really technical project, but you also learned, like you got to know who was working in the Heritage Garden. You got to understand all of those plants, but then also got to contribute the skills of doing that kind of technical component. That kind of answer the questions. There's a little framework there. It's really hard to keep a project just to 10 hours. It's a hard struggle, but want to make sure that we're respecting the time of people have available for the intern projects. But oftentimes people will finish it and then just go back into that project and keep investing and supporting it. Pam's asking a question about personal references. So we just ask that if you have a reference, sometimes we will use it, especially if we get a ton of applications, people submitting a ton of applications. It's helpful to have a reference and be able to call them and kind of, get a little bit more about your application. I have not used them, to be transparent. I haven't used them in the last 2 years, but if we have a big team and that's a helpful resource, then that's something that we use. And it should be someone you're not related to. I think there's language in there about what qualifies as a reference. And I think it just asks for their email and how you're related to them or how you're connected to them. Yeah, and honestly, the way that I've evaluated the applications is really looking at why you're interested in being a community educator. A lot of people will look at your horticulture experience, but the entire training is about horticulture experience. I'd rather have a volunteer who's really excited to contribute to a community and build learning and have curiosity and build relationship than someone who's, really, really academically focused. It takes all people, but this is a community organization, and we provide the service to our communities. Language around that is what I've looked for in the past. Oh man, how many people are going to be accepted this year? So last year, 2020, obviously the whole world shut down. So that training got shut down. And then we paused it for 1 year. It was the only year in 50 years that the training was paused. It's our 50th anniversary this year. And then we started it back up in 2021. We accepted 50 folks that year and graduated 30 of them. This last year, we accepted 90 people and are about to certify around 50 of them. So we're in transition with the coordinator, like I had said earlier. So it'll depend on the capacity of the people who are leading the program, but I would imagine probably around 100. And we have probably 400 people on the application list. So kind of find that balance. Good question. Yeah. Any other questions? Lots of people, once they're enrolled, have questions about the manual. And if it's electronic or if you can print it. It's a huge, huge manual. It's got all the chapters in there to read. You can buy it, a physical manual for $125. You can download it and print it. If you've got a really amazing printer, you can print it for free. Lots of people like to have it on hand. So when they're, looking at the quizzes online, they can flip through the book, but then also use the book once they're certified in clinics and things like that. So that's $125. That isn't included in the total cost of the training. The training fee is $150. Like I said, the online platform is $75. The background check is $14. So that equals out. Actually, the background check is now $15. I need to change that number. So that equals out to $240. And then in that acceptance period, so when you've been accepted into the program and you get all those the registration packet finished, that's when we're processing all those fees. And those are cashier's checks or personal checks only, and the online platform. So the training fee is a check, so that's $150. The online platform fee is online, so you pay for it electronically, and the national background check is also electronic. And like I said, if you need help with any of those different fees, you just reach out and request which things you would like to be compensated for, or help with compensation, and we can figure out how many we can do for that. We want to make sure that our fees are not a barrier for folks.
And there's a new improved manual and quizzes this year. So they got a lot of feedback from those of us who took the old ones where questions had double negatives. And it's like, so if it's not this, but it's not this. So they have rewritten the manual and rewritten the quizzes, and they've sent the quizzes out to Master Gardeners for us to go through and say, yeah, this is a good question or this is a bad question. So you'll be previewing the new improved manual and quizzes this year.
Exciting. All right, so I just put in the chat the link to the website. I'll share this really quick so it's really clear for folks where this is. So Become a Master Gardener is down here at the bottom when you get down to the Pierce County Master Gardener page. The Zoom call that you did today, I'll probably take that off today. We have another one of these open houses. If you want to check that out, it's at our Puyallup Demo Garden. That'll be in person. It'll be fun and social. And it'll look a lot like this, but just in person. The application packet is here, and it really just goes over everything I just went over today. So a little bit more in depth of our mission and our vision, code of conduct, things like that. So that's available for you. And then it also is obviously included down here at the bottom of the website. And then click here to apply. Fingers crossed this is available. Fabulous. I always get nervous when I put links on the website. So then this is what it looks like. It's just a regular old Google survey, making sure you're 18 years of age. You understand that there's a recommendation here that you can kind of go through. We want to make sure that folks know what they're signing on to when they do that. We'll also do a child abuse awareness training in the beginning in January, and then the rest is all, you know, your information, and then kind of general times you think you might be able to attend or won't be able to attend. And then just kind of some background on your interests and your history of horticulture and sustainability, things, other skills that you're excited to bring. I like to clarify that these are interests that you'd like to share. Just because you know how to do public speaking does not mean that you are required to do public speaking, that you're volunteering, so you get to choose how you spend your time. Different languages is helpful to know for creating accessibility around here. Reasons why you want to be an educator. Here's the reference spot here. And then your authorization. And you submit it, and then we will get back to you at the end of October. Pretty easy. All righty. Any other questions before we're done here today? Awesome. Thanks for showing up. Thank you so much. You have my email on the website. You also have Jim's email on the website. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and we welcome you to come and join us on October again in person and visit the garden. And we hope to see your application in there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
all.
Bye.
Bye.